Now that we have a strong understanding of two entry types, the confirmation and double confirmation entry, as the two different areas that we can enter from the extreme and the decisional, we can also array on entry models factoring in the liquidity concept that we discussed earlier in the course. That we will first take note of the available liquidity to the left entries. If there's liquidity to the left of supply or demand zone on the same life time frame, the process of price interaction with the supply or demand zone will be enough to satisfy the liquidity being swept. So when the entry could be made right in the zone without any need to create a swap or any more liquidity, this was something was discussed in the advanced liquidity concept and it's nothing new at this stage. But what we can start to do is array on our different entry types and areas to enter from to give more clarity on how we can look to trade these particular situations. So in the example, we have available liquidity to the left. We have demand level with liquidity available to the left. We have structural liquidity. We create this higher high and price trading down into a demand level. As we can see, the structural liquidity to the left is swept and price interact with the demand. If we look at these particular graphs here, as we can see, we have the entry types and areas that we can look to the trade from the certain situations. If we look at the confirmation entry, there we can see the price trades into this higher time frame level of demand. Because we've swept liquidity to the left, we're under the impression that no liquidity necessarily needs to be created to the right. So there we can see the price that takes out the least this last point of supply. So which creates our tradable demand level. Price then trades into that demand level. This is where we would took to execute long and take the trade. So if you look double confirmation entries, we can see again price steps into a higher time frame level of demand that has swept liquidity to the left, and price goes at the last point of supply to fail, which creates our first level of respect demand level. So price then starts to trade into a first level of respect. The first level of respect holds causing our last points of supply to fail. And then price trades down in a newly created demand level that we can look to execute from at the same and the extreme. So now let's take a look at the zone wipe entry, and this zone wipe is no liquidity is available to the left of the supply or demand zone on the same life time frame. And no liquidity is built to the right in the form of early anticipant. The supply or demand zone can be used as liquidity. We have two examples. We have both the buy example where we're looking to buy and looking to trade demand with no liquidity in the leg. The zone is liquidity, the no zone is likely to be swept, and we have supply example where we have a supply level where no liquidity exists in the leg and no liquidity is built to the right. So on either demand or supply example, so the zone itself is swept. And as we can see in these, we have examples of all of these entries. The confirmation entry and the double confirmation entry trading from the extreme as well as the decisional. So the price trades below the higher time frame demand level, sweeping it, creating that zone wipe. Price then trades higher, causing the last points of supply to fail. And we look to take a long position on with this newly created demand level. Overall, knowing exactly when to strike from these levels while factoring in supply demand shifts and liquidity is the secret sauce to simplifying your trading and boosting your win rate. This video deeply explores different entry strategies and trading, specifically based on understanding confirmation and double confirmation entry types and entering from the extreme and decisional zones. Through detailed analysis and classes So the video guides viewers on how to find suitable entry timing and strategies in a complex trading environment to improve trading efficiency. So refer to the extreme vs decisional graphic for variation or entry variations, as the video would be far too long and there would be far too many examples that we could take note on this particular situation. Welcome back to the live stream. Welcome back to Classroom, guys. Last time we took a deep dive into the logic of confirmation and double confirmation entries, and today I'm excited to share a new set of science and insight that I believe will really level you up and will approach you. So as we go through this concept, I'd love to hear your perspective. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments or reach me out in DM messages. So let's think about this for a moment. In an environment with the constant inflation and market shifts, simply working harder doesn't always lead to the peace of mind we are looking for. So many of us feeling lingering sense of uncertainty, whether seeing the daily cost of feeling that urge to check the charts during our personal time. So often this happens because we are reacting to market noise instead of understanding the market structure. So if you're looking to find more clarity and balance, mastering their underlying logic in the first step, this video explores different entry strategies in trading, specifically based on understanding confirmation and double confirmation entry types and entering from extreme and decisional zones. So the video emphasized the importance of using previously discussed liquidity concept for entry setups. It demonstrates how price interaction with the supply or demand zone can satisfy liquidity requirements when liquidity exists to the left, allowing for direct entry without additional liquidity creation or swaps. In our daily lives, following the crowd feels comfortable, of course, but in the market, if we're just doing what anyone or everyone else is doing, we often end up providing the liquidity for someone else's move. And based on my experience, if we don't recognize the structural traps, we have an easy find ourselves on a wrong side of trade. So let's look at how we can navigate this more effectively, starting with observing the liquidity to the left. Now that we have a strong understanding of the two entry types, the confirmation and double confirmation entry, as well as the two different areas that we can enter from, the extreme and decisional, we can also array on entry models factoring in the liquidity concept that we discussed earlier in the course. What we will first take note of: available liquidity to the left entries. If there's liquidity to the left or of supply or demand zone on the same time frame, the process of price interaction with the supply or demand zone would be enough to satisfy the liquidity being swept. So then entries could be made right in the zone without the need to create or swap any more liquidity. This was something what we discussed in advanced liquidity concept, and it's nothing new at this stage. But what we can start to do is array on our different entry types and arrays to enter from, to give more clarity on how we can look to trade these particular situations. So the question I often get is, how do we avoid getting caught in a sudden move against us? We use a technical logic to balance out our natural impulses. Have a look at how these levels interact. Number 1, confirmation entry. Price taps into a higher time frame supply or demand zone, causing the last supply or demand point on the lower time frame to fail, thereby forming a tradable supply or demand zone. In this example, we have available liquidity to the left. we have a demand level with liquidity available to the left, and we have structural liquidity. We create this higher high and price trading down in a demand level. As we can see, the structural liquidity to the left is swept as the price interacts with demand. If we look at the particular graphic here, as we can see here, we have the entry types and areas that we can look to trade from in these certain situations. If we look at the confirmation entry, that we can see is price trades into this higher time frame level of demand because we've swept liquidity to the left. We are under the impression that what no liquidity necessarily needs to be created to the right. So what we can see is that price takes out the last point of supply, which creates our tradable demand level. The price then trades into the demand level. This is where we would look to execute long and take the trade. So now if you are looking for a bit more extra confirmation to keep your strategy steady, we can wait for secondary reaction. Number 2, double confirmation entry. Price first steps in a higher time framework, supply on demand zone, closing the last lower time frame, supply on demand point to fail, forming the first respected supply or demand zone. Number 3, price then reacts, further causing the next last lower time frame supply or demand point to fail, forming the second respected supply or demand zone. So if we look in the double confirmation entries, we can see again the price steps into a higher time frame level of demand that has swept liquidity to the left. Price goes the last point of supply to fail, which creates our first level of respect demand level. Price then starts to trade into our first level of respect. The first level of respect holds, causing our last point of supply to fail, and then price trades down into our newly created demand level that we can look to execute from in the extreme. So it takes a bit more patience, but it allows you to stay grounded while the market is moving fast. So sometimes the most challenging thing is having the right direction but getting caught by a quick week of swap. Have you ever wondered why that happens? It's often because of zone wipe, and the case studies and they first explain the details how to choose appropriate entry points and zone based on price action and liquidity situation in different scenarios. So this includes strategies for confirmation entries, double confirmation entries, and entering from extreme and decisional levels. It also mentions situations where no liquidity exists to the left of a supply or demand zone, known as the zone wipe entry strategy. So now let's take a look at the zone wipe entry. And this zone wipe is no liquidity is available to the left or supply or demand zone on the same time frame, and no liquidity is built to the right in the form of early anticipant. The supply or demand zone can be used as a liquidity. So number 1, zone wipe entry. In the absence of available liquidity, price steps directly into supply or demand zone, causing that zone to be wiped or swept. So we have 2 examples. We have both the buy example where we're looking to trade demand with no liquidity in the leg. This zone is likely to be swept. And we have a supply example where we have a supply level where no liquidity exists in the leg and no liquidity is built to the right on either demand or supply example, so the zone itself is swept. And as we can see is in this, we have examples of all of the entries, the confirmation entry and the double confirmation entry trading from the extreme as well as the decisional. So the price trades below the higher time frame, demand, level sweeping, and creating that zone wide price then trades higher, causing the last point of supply to fail. And we look to a long position of this newly created demand level. So ultimately, the most valuable asset in having your ability to think clearly amidst the noise. And I'm sharing these details because I want you to understand the logic behind these moves. Through detailed analysis and causes, this video guides viewers on how to find suitable entry timing and strategies complex trading environments to improve trading efficiency. So overall, knowing exactly when to strike from these levels while factoring in supply-demand shifts and liquidity is the secret cause and source to simplifying your trading and boosting your win rate. So this video deeply explores different entry strategies in trading, specifically based on understanding confirmation and double confirmation entry types and entering from the extreme and decisional zones. Through detailed analysis and cases, the video guides viewers on how to find suitable entry time and strategies in complex trading environments to improve trading efficiency. If you're looking for more control and confidence in your financial journey, think of this technical framework as your roadmap. Refer to the extreme decisional graphic for various entry variation, and this video would be far too long and there would be far too many examples that we could take notes of in this particular situation. So I'm breaking down this setup right now, and if you're ready to gain a deeper understanding in the market, click my profile or the red circle to join me, and see you there.